Hello interwebs, we were doing this for the millionth time because shit just keeps fucking up around here. First it's the phones don't want to take the video right, and then I forget that I can't pause, and then the video gets stopped and I have to redo it, and then my dog wants to try to eat my daughter's pencil. Anyway, so I am doing this out come or hell or high water. Okay, long story short, because this is my millionth time explaining it, feels like, paper roses. Alright, paper roses, that is what a paper rose is. Ooh, pretty shiny, right? Million, uses for it. You can make them as big or as small as you want to, depending on how nimble your fingers are. My neighbor, who is the camera person, is going to be getting married, and she saw my paper rose bouquet, and she asked, about me making her some. I said, cool, whatever. For her personally, she was thinking like pink camouflage. So I was at Hobby Lobby, they're having a sale, saw the pink camouflage scrapbook paper, picked it up. Okay, so the original person on YouTube, don't know her name, but it's called Universal Bouquet. I tried to look it up, try to find her to have her name ready for this video, but of course, naturally, couldn't find it. She does a fantastic job. But I don't have the materials she does. She has an inkjet printer and like heavyweight cardstock and all this great fabulous crap I don't have. So, this is my frugal, or however you want to put it, alternative to still get the job done without the official materials. Okay, but you will need some sort of design paper. It could be music sheet paper, graph paper, scrapbook paper, something you've drawn, magazine paper would most likely work too. Whatever, you just need some sort of paper to make it out of. Since paper isn't all that sturdy, you need to glue on a piece of cardstock to the back. Me personally, I use my Mod Podge with a paintbrush. Painted it on, use my brayer to get all the wrinkles and air bubbles out, let it dry, boom. Alright, so originally this was just a piece of wire and I had all the petals over here. So your basic shape is going to be a rounded off stick figure house. You do not need the one with the sharp corners. It doesn't, even when you're cutting it out, you don't have to exactly follow your pencil line. Just you need this basic shape. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything else. Just you need something like this. Personally, I would not do a flat bottom. I would kind of round off your bottom a little bit, because if you don't, you will get this sort of bulky, angular thing, which even if you do wind up doing that, you can still, work with it, because you can wrap it up with ribbon or washi tape or lace, or, you can still work with it if you happen to make a mistake. So, no big deal, even if you do make that mistake. So, okay. So this is like the fourth time. Okay, you see these little petals right here? You need 6 of these little petals. One of those need to be smaller than the small petals, because it's going to be the center of your rose, which actually for me, this one right here is the center. So what you do, you have 6 of those, you have 5 medium and 5 large. Okay, so you can either use, this is a piece of floral wire, I just kind of bent in half and twisted it up together. You can use 18, I think this is 20 right here, any gauge wire you want to. Or if you're like me and you do things with the fake flowers, I just kept this because I knew eventually I'd find something to do with it. If you wanted to, you could even use these. Reuse the fake flower stems. Whatever you got. You could probably use like bamboo skewers, you just need something to stick it to. Alright, I'm going to try and use this dotting tool as an example since I already started on this. Pretend this is one of the small petals. Because like I said, this is the 4th time we're doing this. That itty bitty bitty extra small one. Say this, you know, this is your wire or whatever. You're going to take your low temp hot glue gun. If you use high temp hot glue gun, you will be touching the glue eventually. So do yourself a favor and use the low temp. Put yourself some glue right here, like usually I do from side to side, and you curve it around your wire. So this is, you know, like we're pretending this is the itty bitty bitty one, the center. So you would glue that on, and with the other 5 small ones that are slightly larger than your center, you would go around your center and glue. Okay, so this brings us up to where we're at now. Alright, straighten this little sucker back out. Now, like I said, even if you do square it off at the bottom, not a total disaster. It's still workable. Just go around kind of in a circle, you know. With your bigger ones, you're going to need to go lower down. So, let's see, right about here. With the, oh, I forgot to mention, with the small ones before you put them on. Almost forgot. And I need more glue. You're going to need a pencil, a better glue gun, something to curl the petals, because you can't have just straight up and down petals. That doesn't look very rose-like. Wait for your glue to dry. Okay, so normally I would do this step, which I totally forgot about because I was frustrated about the camera situation. Get you a pencil before you even start gluing them on, and curl down the top, that top point, so that way you get your more realistic flower appearance. And usually, yeah, it's easier to do it before you start gluing. Like I said, I was frustrated about this camera thing. So do that to your petals. And also, another reason I decided to do this video was because, you know, like I said, the original girl, she did a fantastic job, but she had better materials and more stuff than I did. So for me, she used the heavy cardstock, like the 110-pound weight or whatever. I usually get the 65-pound because I get more for my buck. And for me, that's, you know, important. Yeah, do that. So I found out that, I mean, you can totally skip this step either way. But for me personally, you know, I added acrylic paint to the back of the petals before I started gluing them on to add stability. And plus, you know, back then I had just plain white cardstock. So, you know, I wanted to give a little bit of color, you know, to it. So if you find that it's just not sturdy enough for you, you can totally paint the back of the petals, like I said, with acrylic paint, and that will help stabilize them. And also don't forget to make a few extra petals in case, you know, there's like a gap you need to fill, or something happens and you mess up, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And you will be covered. So anyway, you just keep going around and placing them where you think they need to go, and, you know, filling the gaps and whatnot. And the most tedious part really is drawing out the petals and cutting them out and everything. That's, you know, the worst part of this, I guess I would say. But for me, when I first started doing this, I mean, I did a couple of practice roses just to get the feel for it. And then I made like a 5 or 6 rose bouquet. So for me, it was like a 3 or 4 day process or something like that. Anyway, so just try to keep the petals at the top like kind of even. You know, you don't want like jagged. At the bottom, you really can't help it, you know, you just kind of do what you got to do with it. If you need to add a little more glue, go for it. I also did my stepdaughter's, you know, flower girl bouquet with the paper roses. I did my husband's buttonniere with the paper flower, or paper roses, sorry. So, I mean, it's really up to you how, you know, far you can go. On mine, I'd added some temporary tattoos to my petals. I had done those, and then I also added like the little small nail art rhinestones, just for like the kind of dewdrop sort of thing going on. So alright, last row, and I kind of did the double-sided image, sort of. Like, because when I had it glued on here, it was like a 12 by 12, so naturally, you know, the cardstock isn't that tall, so I had some of my design left over, I guess I would say. And so I cut that off and I glued it to the bottom of the cardstock, so I would have the double-sided on the roses part, on the petals part, sorry, so that the outside would be, you know, showing off the image design, or, you know, however you want to put it. So yes, this kind of takes forever a little bit. But, you know, after it's all said and done and all the work and all that kind of good stuff, it's totally worth it, because, you know, you know, do a few practice roses. I haven't done these in quite a while, actually, almost a year, because I was doing my wedding bouquet. Me and my husband got married on Halloween 2014, and I started making stuff for my wedding in like late August or mid-August or something like that. So yeah, it's been actually quite a while since I've actually done these, so I'm a lot of practice myself. But, you know, you could do these for special occasions. You could totally make, you know, something for your hair, some just to put in a vase or whatnot. Add to gift boxes and whatnot. You know, just outside of scrapbooks. I mean, there's a lot of uses for it. It just, you know, it's up to you how big or how small you make it. You can make a little rose bud. You can make some, you know, big old honking chrysanthemum looking rose. You know, however you want to do it. So, whenever Tabby and her man decide when they're getting married and give me ample time to do something for them.
I'll give you plenty of time.
Or like, I want to hear, oh, it's in like a month. Nope, I need more time. No, sorry, can't help you. Because that's the only thing I don't like about arts and crafts, because I'm so impatient, and some of this stuff takes forever to make. Like that clock thing I made, that like took almost 2.5 days. I was pissed. I was like, you were supposed to be done a long time ago. Alright, so one more and I'm done with this one.
And she is very, very crafty, y'all. Very, very crafty.
Yes.
She's made my daughter a little mirror thing. It's really cool.
Oh, you need to check out this fabric that chick gave me. Oh my god. So much fabric. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, so much fabric. Well, now I know the animal print. I'm going to make Georgia a little fake headboard thing. Because she likes animal print. I'm not. I'm not too crazy about it, so she can totally have that. Okay, so technically, like, see that I was talking about making more. Technically, I need one more right here, and possibly, maybe one more right here, but I definitely would need one more right there. So that's what I was talking about, making extra just in case, you know, you have a gap you need to fill. But that is, you know, pretty much, I really do need to make one more. That's pretty much it. I mean, you just, you know, like I said, curl your petals, which I forgot to mention before I started, sorry. You can totally use temporary tattoos, like these little nail art things. Like in here, there's like butterflies and stars and bows and hearts and all kinds of junk. So, I mean, it's just what your imagination, that's the only thing that limits you. I mean, that's it, really. So, all right, hopefully you guys lived and learned and all that good jazz. If you do make several of these, you know, that'd make a cute little bouquet, or, you know, like I said, you can add washi tape, fabric, lace, ribbon, whatever to the ends to, you know, clean it up a little bit. You can add them to all kinds of different things. So, you know, that's the ghetto frugal way of making paper roses. All right, like, subscribe, and thanks everybody. Bye.